Hi everyone, it's Alex again from the Westmont Library Adult Services Department, and today for the garden short, we're going to be going over how to actually build our garden, or how we built ours, and how you can build your own. So to start, we've got some footage here of the straw bale garden. Now, the straw bale garden is actually set up with a bale of straw, not hay, and I'll go into specifically about that next. It is set on a elevated platform with a trellis at the back for the plants to climb up. And the reason why we go with straw and specifically not hay is because hay actually is made from alfalfa and grasses that still have seeds attached. And those seeds can turn into weeds and then they can germinate and sprout. Whereas straw, on the other hand, is comprised of the leftover stalks of grain, such as like oats or wheat, after the seeds have been removed through harvesting. So straw is actually really weed free. So it's very easy to work with, very low maintenance. One of the reasons why we use it. As you can see from this shot here, you can see the trellis as well as the platform that it's attached to. So our straw bales are actually elevated off of the ground to make sure that there's proper drainage. But typically you can actually have them just sitting straight on the ground, which is really convenient. If you look over the top, you see our two black plastic kind of like tubes, and those are our irrigation system, and that's running through both the straw bales and the raised beds. So actually setting up the straw bale garden is very easy. After you've acquired your straw bales, really you just need to start the process of conditioning. The real way to do conditioning is to, once you kind of like spread the bales out, applying a generous layer of high nitrogen fertilizer on top of the bales. And so you're watering the fertilizer to make sure it saturates every bale every day for several days, so about a week. You add more fertilizer every couple of days. You really use a lot, and you make sure you're soaking them each time. So what that does is the nitrogen actually starts to break down the straw and turn it into a proper kind of like growing material. It's the best kind of growing material you really need. After that, you can actually implant soil directly in, and so the soil will actually draw nutrients from the decomposing straw. Now, we're going to be moving on to the raised beds. Raised bed gardens are an artificial construction that, kind of lets you isolate and hold an amount of soil, so you can really control what the soil is connected to, how much water it's receiving, and generally kind of separate the plants out. It's a really convenient, really easy way to build a garden, especially when you don't have a ton of space, or if you don't just want to dig a bunch into the dirt. Another great benefit of the raised bed gardens is that it's literally raised. You don't have to bend down as far to, kind of work in the soil. You don't have to get down on your hands and knees as much. You're working with a little bit of elevation. Ours are about 18 inches high. They're constructed of 1x6 boards primarily with some 2x4s. So it's really, really convenient. If you take a look here, you can see that we've drilled in to kind of pipe our irrigation system into the raised beds. We run this plastic tubing, which is essentially our hose. If you noticed on the straw bale gardens, you saw the little red caps. That's actually where the water is coming out. It makes it super convenient just to like turn it on, let them run, give it a good soak, and that's all about you have to do. Now, our raised bed gardens are actually constructed of cedar wood. Cedar is probably one of the best that you can use. It's naturally rot resistant. It's naturally insect repellent. It's just really, really good. You don't have to worry about any kinds of issues with chemicals when it comes to like pressure treated wood or anything like that. Holds up to the elements super, super well. Now we're going to be moving into a bit of a slideshow that shows the actual construction of the raised beds. Our raised beds were built by Eagle Scout candidate Dylan Biala. He did a great job and really, really worked hard on a lot of these. And so it's great to showcase his work ethic and just how well he did. Again, we used cedar wood primarily for ours. Cedar wood is a little bit more expensive than like a typical pine or something like that you would find. But you can definitely get that wood at your regular hardware store or lumber yard. It's not terribly uncommon, although right now with COVID kind of shortages, it's a bit more expensive. Our raised beds have a slatted base at the bottom that allows for natural drainage, as well as they are lined with landscaping fabric to kind of like help hold in the dirt and keep out pests and stuff like that. But they are an excellent starter project. They're an excellent way to really kind of like use and cultivate a garden when you don't have a ton of space. So highly, highly recommend it. Thank you again for tuning in for this second one. In the next one, we'll be kind of covering what grows well in both straw bale and in raised beds. Hint, a lot of it does, or really anything does. So we're going to be talking about that, and I'll be talking specifically about what's growing in ours, so you can come on by and see. I'm going to wait a little bit, get a bit better footage with some bigger plants, but you can already tell from the earlier clips that we've got some great stuff growing and some great stuff coming. Thanks again for everybody for watching, and enjoy the rest of the pictures of the construction. Bye now.